Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 recently got more updates than ever, with new mystery characters for the chapter announced, a brand new release time for the game revealed, updates on Catnap and how he will work, the official length of Chapter 3 confirmed, and much more. So yesterday, the developers of Poppy Playtime decided to tell us pretty much everything we ever wanted to know on their Discord server about Chapter 3. And starting off massive, out of nowhere, the devs would randomly message saying, my favorite character from Chapter 3, one that I pushed to happen, hasn't even been revealed yet. Also saying that she is not a smiling critter. Or in other words, there is a brand new female antagonist or character in the game that has not been revealed by any of the developers yet at all. I don't know if this character is going to be a friend, an enemy, or even maybe a human, but the fact that they are not a smiling critter and they are hiding the character makes me really wonder what they could possibly be. My only real theory is that back during Easter of 2023, the devs released a Bunzo comic strip that showed Bunzo moving throughout the factory before finding a mysterious egg that had a real-life living bird inside of it. So maybe this new character could be related to this bird, but comment below what you think. Next in the server, a fan asked the devs for a final answer on how long Chapter 3's average runtime is going to be, and they finally officially confirmed that it is going to be 3+ hours long, which is significantly longer than Chapter 2 that took around 1.5, so this chapter will be way longer than anything we've ever had before. And this is also probably only considering the average time, meaning if you spend your time around sniffing around for secrets like me, the game could take even longer. But even better, with the game being around 3 hours long, people were wondering what the price would be for something of this length. And the devs also made sure to give us a final answer saying Chapter 3 was going to cost $10, which is a massive step in the right direction, because the biggest criticism for Poppy Playtime Chapter 2 and especially Chapter 1 was that the games were extremely expensive for what you got. So the fact that this next chapter is going to be almost twice as long as both of the chapters combined and is coming in at $10, in my opinion, is well worth it. But in other Chapter 3 news, a big thing that people have wanted to know about the chapter is what is the deal with the main antagonist Catnap? How will he work? How will he move? And will he be a silent main antagonist like Huggy? Or will he talk to the player like Mommy Longlegs? Well, a fan asked that question specifically, and the devs mysteriously replied with this covered mouth emoji. Now, obviously, this isn't any official confirmation. It's literally just an emoji. But judge from the fact that they replied to this at all, and that the emoji is somebody covering their mouth, which I think was intentional, I'm taking the assumption that this means Catnap is going to be a silent antagonist who won't be talking to the player, which in my opinion is the absolute best for the game, since most characters who speak to the player honestly aren't very scary and are kind of annoying. Another cool update we got about Chapter 3 is the devs confirmed they remade pretty much all of the models for the game, including Kissy Missy and Poppy. Plus, as a funny little behind the scenes, apparently Catnap and Dog Day didn't even have fur in the trailer and they were still developing it for the final game, which now that they mention it, I can totally see it, at least on Dog Day. And in a mini Smiling Critters update as well, the developers also teased somehow that I'm going to be in Chapter 3. Since if you didn't know, one of the official developers made a Smiling Critter based on my channel, which is considered a fan character. However, there's been a mini campaign going on of people trying to get them to actually show up in the game, which thank you guys so much for the support, by the way. And recently, the devs on multiple occasions have been posting emojis and references to Sheep and my channel, even confirming they were all related to me. So apparently it seems like they might actually be teasing my character coming into the game, which would be absolutely surreal, but I wouldn't count on it. Now, taking a step back from Chapter 3 for a moment, the developers also said a few things about some other Poppy projects possibly coming in the near future. For instance, with Chapter 3 being officially on Unreal Engine 5, an engine that looks significantly better than the other games made on Unreal Engine 4, somebody actually asked the developers if they would ever move the previous chapters onto the new engine, getting the response that they didn't know yet. So no other remasters are in development, but they did confirm that the console versions of the chapter are in the new engine, so that could be coming in the near future. And in other news, fans asked the developers what happened to Poppy Playtime coming onto Xbox after it was originally released to Switch and PlayStation, to where they clarified to us that it's coming, but they have to wait until Chapter 2 releases onto console versions. So likely that won't come for a decent while, but they are in fact developing that. And another big update update is the developers recently confirmed in some messages that they are actually working on multiple other horror titles releasing in the future. So outside of Chapter 3 and of course the rest of Poppy Playtime, there are apparently going to be more horror games coming from the company. Or perhaps once Poppy Playtime is finished, there could be other spin-offs about the title as well. But moving back into Chapter 3, the biggest two questions that people wanted to know about the chapter after all of these years of waiting is, when will we get the final trailer, and when will Chapter 3 finally be complete? And boy, did we get answers. As first, regarding a new trailer, if you didn't know, the developers recently confirmed one final trailer for Chapter 3 is dropping this month in January, and they gave us a bunch of more info about this trailer in these Discord messages, first by saying, well, the next trailer is the real trailer, to be honest. Also adding, yeah, the next trailer is the longer one. Essentially telling us that the Chapter 3 second gameplay trailer is likely going to be the much bigger one with more content, graphic showcases, and hopefully a couple other things like a full reveal of Catnap, maybe some answers to big questions like what happened to Huggy, or possibly even a reveal of the new female character they were mentioning at the beginning of this video. Alongside this, in other news videos, we were also told this main trailer is supposed to contain actual animation cinematics, similar to the ones from Chapter 2, so expect some big things from this trailer when it eventually releases, which we discuss shortly. But as for Chapter 3's release date, the developers did first confirm to us that this final upcoming trailer will reveal the complete release date for Chapter 3, which is extremely nice to know, especially since it could literally release any day now. But in terms of figuring out this brand new release date, like we've mentioned in other videos, when they first delayed the game from December of last year, they told us it was delayed several weeks into 2024, meaning the game could release as early as January and as late as around April, being generous. However, the developers have recently given us some clues to solve this date. For instance, they first told us that the game is not going to come out in March, confirming it's not dropping in that month, of course, and they also told us it's not going to be releasing in February either, which only leaves us with 2 months. January, which ends here in like 20 days, and April, which is like a few months away. However, the developers also gave us one final hint that changes everything, as they also commented on YouTuber MatPat's recent retirement announcement where he is leaving his channel on March 9th by saying, I was sad to hear about MatPat, at least he will get to make vids on Chapter 3, implying of course that the game will be released before his retirement in March, confirming the game can't drop in April, leaving us with one possible release date, January of this year. Meaning, yes, as crazy as it is to say, at least according to these messages, Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 is dropping here in like a couple weeks. Most likely it will be super late January, of course, but we are already almost midway through the month. So if this theory is true, we are literally just days away from playing the game finally. And this also tells us a bit about when the final trailer will release as well, since if the game is dropping near the end of the month, then obviously the trailer will probably come a couple weeks before the game releases. So we can literally expect this trailer to release in like a week, or at the latest like 10 days max. So that is coming even sooner. I don't know if we're gonna get some sort of announcement in the next couple days with a render or something, but when the trailer drops, I'll certainly live stream it, so make sure you are subscribed for that. But the last question I and everybody had about the chapter is, what happened to Huggy Wuggy, and is he in Chapter 3? Well, I talked about all of that and some more updates over in this video here.